Hi everyone, it's time for a 3-week puppy update. So Cindy and Fredrick's puppies are 3 weeks old today. So their eyes are open and they can hear. So we're going to look at what we do with them now that they can hear and see as far as their early socialization training goes. And then we're going to look at each puppy individually, look at their markings, go through what I'm seeing with them. And then next week, they will get their little colored collar, and it'll be easier to track them in these videos once they get that colored collar. So let's go look at them. So here they are with Mom. Mom has a bully stick. But look at those darlings. Aren't they adorable? Cindy, you have very cute puppies. They're just so cute. Cindy! Oh, I'm going to take them out so we can look at them individually here. So we're going to start out with the girls first. And our first girl is Miss Purple. Remember that I mark them with a tiny little bit of fabric paint that's non-toxic on the back of their necks. And look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Tell me that she is not adorable. So all of these puppies are super calm. They love being held. They want to lick on me. They like being pet on. They have not even thrown a fit when I trim their nails. See, she's looking on me right now. I don't know if you can see it. But this is going to be a really good litter of puppies, I think. So let's look at her markings. All right. So on her face, she does have the white blaze that runs up her face. I do think that will narrow as she gets older because that's just what happens. She has white muzzle on both sides. She should be red and white. So when we look at Purple, this blaze that comes up the front of her head, it actually is going to connect with her collar. And her collar is going to be on the left side of her body. It's going to go all the way around underneath her chin. And then the right side is going to be dark. Look at her little front feet that are white. Little back feet that are white. If we look at her back, there's no mismarks. All of this darker hair is baby hair. It's going to fall out, as she gets her other hair in. Let's look at her on her little belly. Little white belly. It's a really sweet puppy. I know. Eyes open. Can hear. Just an adorable little puppy. Gonna be beautiful, beautiful girl. So this is Miss Purple. Beautiful Miss Purple. How cute is that? How cute are you, huh? You're pretty darn cute. Okay, let's get Sister out. All right, this is the other little female in the litter. This is Miss Pink. Her eyes are open too. Once again, like I said, all these puppies just love to be loved on. They love to give you kisses back. They've been a joy to work with so far. So she has the little white blaze that goes up her face too. Evenly marked white on both sides of her muzzle. Now the white comes all the way up. Let me see if I can show you this. White comes all the way up underneath her chin, covers both of her front feet, all the way back through her belly and her back feet. So she has a lot more white on her front legs and her back legs. So once again, here's her collar. She has her collar. It's not a full collar. It's close. But it, so on top of her head, the white breaks between the blaze and the collar. And then the collar is going to run on her right side. She does have this little bit of coloring that comes in on the left side. And it's almost a full collar, but you got this teeny little strip of colored fur there. So she's going to be a lighter colored, probably more like a fawn colored instead of the traditional red. And this dark on her ears should, it's going to turn red or fawn. Same thing with the dark in her coat. That is going to turn red. So this is Miss Pink. All right, now for the boys. This little guy is Mr. Blue. And you can see he has white, the white blaze that comes up his head. It is barely going to join into his collar. We'll look at his collar in just a minute. He has that evenly marked white on both sides of his muzzle. Someone's going to ask about the coloration of the nose. And you can see that it almost looks like he has, let's see if I can get up here a little closer. Almost like little dots of coloration on his nose. And that will fill in. That is normal. That will fill in. So, we were talking about his collar, and that blaze is going to come up, and it is going to join with his collar. He's got kind of like a triangle-shaped area of white there, and then a little snippet of white that comes down, and then his collar on his right side is kind of thin, and it runs all the way around. And then on his left side, it is also about the same thickness, and it runs all the way around. So he is a full collar. All right, if we look at his paws, he is a lot like Miss Purple. Has these cute little white paws. And let's look at his back feet. Kind of the same thing. Almost like little mittens. Okay. Let's look at your belly. Little white belly. And then let's look at his back. All right. And all this dark hair, like I said, is going to fall out. This baby hair comes out when they're about 9 to 10 weeks old. You'll just see them start shedding. And same thing with this dark hair here around their ears. But you'll start seeing that come out quicker than that. So he should be a red and white. This even around his eyes, you can probably notice from when they were tiny babies, that was darker, and that is beginning to lighten up. So their coloration is just going to change, and you're going to see it here in our weekly videos as I show you that. But he is just a sweetheart, loves being pet on. So some of the things that we're working on petting all over our body. So we're working on our head being pet, all the way down our back, and I'm rubbing their hair in the opposite direction too, trying to desensitize them. I am messing with their little ears. I'm starting to mess with their little mouth, and they don't have any teeth yet. They're about to break, but it probably in another week, we'll have teeth. I'm also touching those paws, all through those paws. And then once a week, we're getting those nail trims. We're working on being on our back, having our belly rubbed too. I know. So we're still working on touch desensitizing, and we will continue to work on that until they leave here. All right, so this is Mr. Green, and you can probably see what I was talking about with on the nose even better with him. You can see that his nose is pink with few little darker dots on it. That's all going to fill in. You're going to see that happen over the next few weeks too. So this little guy is going to be fawn color. They are so calm, and they are so soft, and such sweet babies. So he has a really wide blaze of white that comes up his face. Once again, very evenly marked white on both sides of his muzzle. So his blaze is going to come all the way up, and it is going to join his collar. So let's look at that first. So his collar is going to run on his right side of his body. So it's going to join with his blaze, and it runs all the way around the right side. The left side is going to have a break. Has a break of coloration, and then the white begins again. He has these cute little mittens too. They just go up a little farther on his legs. And actually, the white on the inside here of his legs join with the white on his neck and his belly. So let's look at his little back legs. Little white feet again. Let's look at his tummy. I know. Little white belly. He really likes belly rubs. He really does. Let's look at his back. So you can tell he's a lighter colored. He's going to be the color of his sister Pink. They're going to be the color of their dad, Fredrick. The other puppies are going to be hopefully that rich red of their mother. She's a real pretty colored red. So besides desensitizing, we are still working on those nails. So once a week, getting our little nails trimmed. And I find when you start out early with them, it's like not a big deal. They just don't know any better. They don't know that this is not something normal. So I'm taking off just a teeny tip of those nails. That's it. Done with nails. So that is Mr. Green. Got one more boy. All right. Last but not least is Mr. Orange. So Mr. Orange, his nose is pretty much already filled in coloration wise. Got a little bit more there on the bottom that we got to fill in. But he's going to be kind of in between what I think is going to be the dark red and the fawn color. He should be red and white. So let's look at his coloration. He's got a really wide blaze that runs all the way up his head, and it does join in with his collar. Got the evenly marked white on both sides of his muzzle. This is a very evenly marked litter of puppies. Let's look at his collar. So he is going to have another full collar. It does have some coloration in there, but notice coming up from his blaze, it does. Thank you very much, Sweetie Poo. It does join. Then he has this little bit of pigmented hair, and then it's white underneath, and that white is going to run all the way around to the front on both sides. So technically he is a full collar too. And then he's got little white feet. I know, you're so adorable. Little white mittens on his back feet. Little white belly again. And you can see there what his collar does. So he's kind of a color in between. He's just so sweet. He's just giving me kisses. Oh my goodness. So, besides the body desensitizing at this age, we're, of course, getting used to light because their eyes just opened this past week. So I'm still keeping their area, you know, it's not fully opened up. It's still covered by a quilt to try to protect those eyes. And we are introducing sounds. I'm using some baby soothers in there to introduce sounds. And then I'm starting to put in some big stuffed animals for them to explore. Some that have different textures on them. They're not toddling around to the point yet where they can carry tiny toys or anything like that. But they will be quickly. So that's all coming up. Every litter matures at a different rate. And that's the key is, you know, they're not all, just like kids, they're not all cookie cutter. And so you just need to take your time and do what you need to do with each litter accordingly. So that is our 3-week update. And I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll tune in next week for their 4-week update. We'll be getting our colored collars and our first deworming at 4 weeks. So it's gonna be a busy week, and they're growing up fast. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. 4-week-old update.